talk you through how to answer, with some friends of mine, those frequently asked questions. Now, if you're like the majority of people in this room, as soon as you start talking to somebody about this incredible opportunity and they start asking you questions back, you may get a little bit nervous. You may get that sweat dripping down your back, on your forehead. You start stuttering. Maybe you're one of those nervous people who just say too much and overtalk and get too excited. We've got a few here, yeah? Fantastic. Well, you're not alone, because there's a lot of people who feel like that, and that's okay. Hopefully after this next 20 minutes, you're going to have a better understanding on how to answer these questions in a confident, professional manner. And it all starts with your mindset, guys. You need to embrace questions. All a question is your prospect asking you for more information so they can decide whether they want to meet you or take a look at some more information. That's all it is. They're not scary. And it's your opportunity to actually take control of the conversation and instill confidence in your prospect so they believe in you. So they will want to find out a little bit more information about what it is that you are trying to show them. Now, one of the skills that you will learn to develop is you will learn to become a fantastic communicator. Now, like everything we do in this opportunity, you only get good at doing anything if you actually do it. Books, audiobooks, attending these events, watching Jim Rohn on YouTube, all has its place in what we do. It's really important that you feed your mind with all the right information so you can grow personally, which will help you grow your business. But the best way of learning is by actually doing it. Yes, you may mess up a few times, but that's okay. That's how you learn, is by doing it again, learning from your mistakes and doing it again. So you'll learn to speak with control, passion, and excitement. Now, I'm sure as a child, you've probably seen it on YouTube. Have you ever got a bottle of Coca-Cola and put some Mentoses in the top and it just explodes? Yeah? Is that you when you talk to a prospect? And then before you know it, the prospect's walking away going, oh my God, that person's crazy. I'm not joining your cult. So yeah, it happens, and I've seen it happen. So don't overtalk, guys. Learn to speak with control, passion, and excitement. You'll also learn on how to study your prospect for the right signals as well. But most importantly, to become a fantastic communicator, you have to learn the skill of listening. You've got 2 ears and 1 mouth, and I'm sure you've heard that before. Your prospect and your customers will give you all of the right information for you to then turn around and say, do you know what, I believe I can help you. I can help you create what you're looking for by using Forever and our amazing marketing plan. Or I can actually recommend you, these products are absolutely fantastic. Why don't you give them a go? I'm sure they will help you. Thankfully for us, Forever give us a Bible. They give us an A to Z of how to grow your business, which is absolutely incredible. From having franchises, from having your normal businesses like high street hair and beauty salons, you don't get anything like this to help you grow a business. So we're really, really lucky that Forever have given us the first steps to manage a book. And it's really important that you go through all the goals, obviously, of what you want to achieve personally, with your family, and attach that to the business and marketing plan. Obviously, you need to talk about building your who do you know list as well, but there are some pages in the back of that book that get skips on a lot of occasions. Now, these pages actually tell you how to overcome questions, and basically by explaining this to your prospect, to your new team member in the planning session, they will go away having a good idea of how to handle those questions. Because after your planning session, your new team member is going to go to work, they're going to go to the gym, they're going to speak to people at the school gates, and the first question somebody's going to say to them is, tell me more, what is it? So by having a better understanding from the word go, they're not going to scare away too many prospects. Fingers crossed, that's the plan. Sometimes your prospect will ask you a question or say something to you, but there's an underlying problem behind it. Okay, so you need to find out why they've asked that question. And some of the examples you could use is, it's not forever, is it? Everybody's doing that now, aren't they? Is it a pyramid scheme? Where really there's something behind them saying that. So if they were to say, it's not forever, is it? a really good response to that, you need to become a bit of a politician here. You need to answer a question with a question. And the question you need to ask is, that's really interesting. What makes you say that? And what you will probably find is that they know somebody that's probably had to go at forever. They didn't put any work into it at all, and they didn't grow a business and were unsuccessful. And they've told their friends, don't do forever, it's a waste of time, it's not successful. Where really, it was themselves who didn't apply themselves into their business. So by asking this very simple question, you'll get to the bottom of what they really mean, which will help you answer the question that they really want, what they really mean. And by using the feel, felt, found process, you can overcome almost any objection or any question that's thrown at you, which is really easy. I understand how you feel because I felt exactly the same way. But what I found was, or you could add in a little bit of Phil Jones if you want to. You could say, I'm so glad you said that, and I totally understand how you feel, because I felt exactly the same way. And most people feel like that when they first take a look at this opportunity. But what I found was, and then you can go into your answer. But this is your perfect opportunity to then set up a one-to-one, or set up an opportunity to send them some more information. So on the back of this, you can turn around and say, look, there's a lot of questions that you might have. Now, this may not be for you. It's not for everybody, and I totally understand that. But what I'd love to do is maybe meet you for a coffee. We'll sit down. I'll show you who we are, what it is we do, and how it could benefit you for you to make up your mind whether this is the right opportunity for you right now. Now, I know you work. How about meeting up on Wednesday at 8 o'clock at that coffee shop that's in between me and you? So by having a question asked you, you can flip that around, take control, and arrange a one-to-one or arrange an opportunity where you can send out more information and start that business cycle of showing people the opportunity. Now, I've got 3 friends. I don't know whether this is a mistake after listening to them backstage, because we've had such a giggle. But I've got 3 amazing people who are going to come on stage now, and they're going to answer some of the most frequently asked questions for you. So I've got the fantastic Claire Spencer, James Stonhill, and Kath Fire, or at different stages in their businesses. So please give a very, very, very warm welcome to the 3 amazing friends of mine. Thank you so much, guys, for helping me. I think it may have been a mistake after what we've been talking about backstage. But what we're going to do is go through some of these commonly asked questions. And Claire, you're up first. So, Claire, when you're talking to a prospect, and this is probably the most commonly asked question that you will face on a day-to-day basis,
Stop looking at me.
and they turn around to you and they say, Claire, tell me more. What is it that you're doing?
Okay, so what you need is your strap line, because who in the audience turns into a bit of a white rabbit when someone asks them, what do you do? Any hands? Yeah, it's pretty scary. You suddenly think, oh my God, what do I do? So you need something that you're comfortable with. So is it I help people build extra incomes from home? Is it I'm in the health and wellness industry? Is it I help people create lucrative incomes around their jobs? You need to know what feels comfortable with you, and you need to practice. Practice in the shower, practice in the car, practice, practice, practice. Practice on your kids, practice on the dog, till when that person asks you, what is it, you can just roll off your tongue, I help people earn extra incomes around their jobs. I'd love to show you.
It's as simple as that, guys. The more basic and simpler you keep it, the more your prospect will be more intrigued. Thank you, Claire. Amazing. So, Kath, now I know you've been in this scenario where somebody's asked you recently, it's not forever, is it? So could you share your experiences on how you handled that question?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when it's never happened before, it was my first time. And when she said that, initially I did feel a little bit worried and a little bit scared, how am I going to answer it? But I think it's really important to remember to always go back to the basics. So always go back to the first step. And what was really important, first of all, was to find out why she was saying it. So once I recouped myself, I asked her, what is it that's made you say that? What's happened? And then she proceeded to tell me that her friend's friend had joined Forever, and her friend's friend had said you need to know hundreds of people, and her friend's friend said everybody's doing it, and her friend's friend said you need to have loads and loads of customers. Her friend's friend sounds loads of fun. But I was really pleased when she said that, because I knew none of that was true, so I knew I could overcome that objection. But it was really important to kind of make her feel at ease and not feel silly for thinking those things. So what I said to her was, look, I understand how you feel. I did feel slightly the same. I had those kind of concerns myself. But what I found was, when I looked at the business, when I looked at the marketing plan, and I looked at the information, in fact, you don't need to know hundreds of people, because all we do is we teach you how to find a regular customer base of 20 to 30 customers. Not everybody's doing it, because in a population of 66 million, there's only 3,500 active Forever business owners in the whole of the UK. And in addition to that, you don't have to do and hit loads and loads of targets, because you decide your goals and the system allows you to achieve it. But my main aim then was to obviously get her to look at the business presentation and the marketing plan so she could see that for herself. So what I said to her then was, what I'd like to do is take this opportunity to show you the information so that you can see for yourself that that isn't the case. And my main aim at that point was she would either see it and she would love it and she would join the business, or she would come away from it with a much more balanced idea and understanding of what Forever's about. So she did. She looked at the business presentation, and in fact, she joined the business on the 1st of November.
Fantastic. Well done. Thank you, Kath. James, I've heard this a lot of times, and do you know what? Salespeople actually have a lot of bad habits, and they have to change on how they look at this business. So, James, if you've spoken to me, and I've turned around and said, do you know what? If it's sales, I'm not interested. I'm not a salesperson. I'm no good at sales.
Well, the first thing I do is relate to you and say, well, I don't like sales either. It's funny you should say that, because I felt exactly the same. I am terrified of sales. I would highlight that what we do is very, very different to sales. What we do is more recommendation. We're lucky enough to have a product range which is that good. All we need to do is get it into people's hands and let them try it. The product will do the sales part for you. And it's very simple. That's simply the way I do it. Just try some of the products. I always compare it to, say, going to see a good movie. If you tell 10 people that you went to see, I don't know, Bridget Jones's Baby, I know Michelle loves that film. You told 10 people you've been to see it, and chances are 3 or 4 of those 10 are going to go and see it too. It's just a simple recommendation instead of the sales part.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And is it like Avon or Herbalife? Now, people have heard about these companies, and that's the first thing they can attach it to. So, Claire, if somebody said to you, is it like Avon or Herbalife, how would you respond to that?
Do you know what? We've heard it time and time again in this section. The feel, felt, found, because you don't want to get people's backs up. Somebody might have had a really good experience, somebody might have had a really bad experience. You need to know why. So I would simply say, that's interesting that you asked that. I felt exactly the same way, but what I did was I went and I found out the information and I realised it was completely different. Let me take you and show you that information. It's as simple as that. That gets you out of any awkward situation.
Definitely, I totally agree, and that's what I'm talking about. Don't overtalk the situation and scare your prospects away. Be yourself, be real, use the process of asking that question and what makes you say that, or the feel, felt, found, and you'll be in total control. You'll have more people look at the information, which will mean more people will join your team. So Kath, you've got another question here. Not sure I would have the time. From your busy corporate background, I know this is something that you thought of as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's something that a lot of people worry about, because we come from a traditional industries where you work X amount every single day, 5 days a week, 6 days a week. So sometimes it's difficult for people to understand that this is a different model that can actually fit around their lives. And I think it's something that a lot of people worry about. I worried about it, working a 60-hour week when I set my business up. So again, going back to what Claire said and echoing what Claire's saying, is that you do need to go back to that feel, felt, found to make them understand and come to their level and make them understand that you felt exactly the same. So again, it's, I know how you feel, I felt exactly the same, but what I found was, when I looked at the business, in actual fact, it's designed to work around busy people's lives. It's designed to work in the nooks and crannies of time that you've got. And if you're doing it yourself, you can draw on your experience. If you're not working it around a really busy life, which I'm sure you are, you can always draw on somebody else's experience as well, just to make them understand.
Definitely. You know, you may not have found that not having enough time is going to be a problem for you. But that's why it's really important to read the magazines and come to these events so you can hear from other people's backgrounds and stories. So you can say, do you know what? I understand how you feel because I listened to this girl who was in a similar situation as you, and this is what she's gone on to do. Now, it may not be for you, but why don't we sit down? I'll show you some information, and we can take it from there. How does that sound? Is that fair enough for you? Thank you very much. And the pyramid scheme. I'll tell you a little secret here. When Tracy started our business, and she started inviting people to come and take a look at a launch, to come to our launch, somebody said to her, "It's not one of those pyramid schemes, is it?" And she turned around and thought, that sounds really good. I don't know what a pyramid scheme is. So the next invites were, "Hey, I'm having this fantastic launch. Why don't you come along to take a look at my pyramid scheme?" Do you know what, though? 6 people turned up and 5 joined. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and promote it as a pyramid scheme, but that's an example of, it doesn't really matter what you say, it's how you say it. Because she was controlled and excited, it actually worked for her, but don't do that, okay? Please don't do that. James, if somebody offered it to you and said, do you know what, it sounds like a pyramid scheme, I'm not interested, how would you answer that?
I think this question is, it's quite a well-known question. I think most people, I know I was to start with, it's quite a fearful question when people get it, because pyramid selling is quite a negative thing, we all know that. My first question to that would always be, it's interesting you say that, what makes you say that? The reason I always ask that question is because my understanding of a pyramid when I first joined was all I knew was it was really bad. Why? Because my mum said it was bad. That's all I knew. I had no real understanding as to why it was bad. I just knew that mum said, don't ever do that. And understanding the difference between forever and network marketing is really important. And I would always say, not forever and network marketing. You know what I meant. I would always highlight to people that what we do is very, very different to pyramid selling. And I always point out as well that pyramids are actually highly illegal. And it wasn't until doing a little bit of external research myself I realized this.
Thank you for that. And people only say it's not a pyramid scheme, is it? Because they don't know any other terminology to describe what it is that we do, because they don't know what it is. People don't know what network marketing is. That's why it's our job to go out there and educate people, show them that we have a great opportunity. If it's not for them, it doesn't matter, guys. It'll be for somebody else. So they're only using pyramid because they don't know what else to call this opportunity. It's as simple as that. I remember Bob saying that he went to the House of Commons, had lunch with a load of MPs, talked about what it is we do, and then one of the MPs afterwards came up to him and said, "Tell me more about this pyramid scheme." And Bob's like, "Are you mad? Did you not listen to what I just said?" It's only because he didn't know what else to call it. So hopefully, that overview of how to answer these frequently asked questions, how to do it, what to say, will give you a little bit more confidence of when you go out there and speak to prospects, promoting what an absolutely amazing opportunity that we have. Thank you so much, guys, for your help. I wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Claire's clapping herself, and I wish you all a very Merry Christmas as well.